Hi again, thanks for coming back to my channel. So tonight we're going to be talking about manipulation. Sorry for rolling my eyes on the camera right now, but it's something that it's not a fun topic to talk about. Just as coincidentally enough, addiction and coincidentally enough, they actually do go together. Um, yeah, manipulation is definitely one of the person that's battling addiction. It's almost like it's one, you can't have one without the other. Um, it's something that just gets engraved in their minds, in their brains, and it's just something that just they just ended up intermingling together. So, just to kind of quickly, roughly go through the definition. The true definition of manipulation is control or influence over a person or situation cleverly, unfairly, or unscrupulously. And the definition of unscrupulously is having or showing no moral principles, which also is not honest or fair. So, um, yeah, it's something that it's a behavior that you will have to decide on whether you will tolerate. Um, because it's just going to add more worry and stress on you. Um, what are the signs to show that you are dealing with manipulation? The biggest way is going to be to listen to your own intuition. A lot of times, a lot of people forget and try to ignore that gut feeling that's telling you that something's wrong, that something doesn't feel right. And so, if you are getting that gut feeling, if you are getting those tingles or chills or something that just in you does not feel like it's right, it's probably because somebody's manipulating you. And do addicts or alcoholics are the only ones that manipulate people? No. People manipulate everyone almost every day. I mean, you can look at any type of professional salesmanship, politics. There's all different forms of manipulation. But what we're talking about today is when it's dealing with somebody that you know, care about, or love that has addiction. And it's something that you do have to recognize. And it's something that, yeah, it's definitely a topic that needs to be discussed. Um, Another sign of that you're being manipulated is if somebody feels like if you're just also you're having a conversation with somebody and you just feel overwhelmed. They're just bombarding you with questions. They're asking you all different types of things that kind of get you confused and to try and get you maybe even off the topic of what you guys were talking about to get to the point where you lose your train of thought and you don't remember like what you guys were talking about, like how you can remember like how you got to that topic all of a sudden. That's another sign that somebody's trying or is manipulating you. Another way is they will intimidate you. They can get very angry. They can start raising their voice, even start yelling, and in extreme cases can even go to the extremes of like throwing things or breaking things. And if that is the case, then I would have to strongly suggest that you be very, very careful and to protect yourself. Um, Another way that people like to, another tactic that you can try and, well, you will be able to decide whether someone's manipulating you is they'll try and turn things around and put the focus on you and off of them. So let's say, you mention to the person that you're talking with and saying, this really bothered me and I didn't really like it when you did this and this is how it made me feel. And then they go and they turn it around and they're like, well, you do that too. I don't like it when you do this, this, and this, and this, and then try to make it into, a flip on you and try and put it that it's your fault. you know, and then it's like you get off again, and it's like you get overwhelmed again. You get off of the subject of what you're addressing about, and that's another form that they're able to try and manipulate to get out of the situation, to put the focus off of them and on you. So that's another tactic. Another one is they'll play on your guilt. So it's kind of like play the victim card. And so it's like, well, you know, I can't believe, you know, you got fired again, or I can't believe, you know, you forgot to pick up so and so, or you didn't do, you know, this one thing that I asked you to do several times. And then they will play the victim, and they'll work on your guilt, and they will know what your weakness is, and they will tie in and put in it. So like another way is like, again, you're talking about a certain topic, and then they flip things around and they're focusing on you, but then they're triggering that specific thing that adds guilt, shame, or lets you feel sorry for them. And so they play the victim in that regard as well. So why do people like to manipulate? It's basically just to get what they want. And when you're dealing with addiction, what they want is to be able to get their fix, or to stay on that addiction. And, you know, it just makes them, it just makes them so selfish that they don't care about anyone else's needs, wants, or cares. All they focus about is what is getting in their way of doing what they want, and that is going to be the form of addiction that they are addicted to. And then the reason why manipulation and addiction goes together is, again, it's the brain. As soon as somebody starts using drugs or alcohol, it does reprogram your brain. And the brain, all of a sudden, just all they want is whatever that thing that they had that made them happy. And so the brain will trick them and make them think that, and justify for what they're doing. Now, is it okay? No. But I mean, it is what it is. And so because the brain, I mean, it's not even just like the person that's addicted gets manipulated by themselves. Like their brain is manipulating them as well, which will make them then lie to the people that care about them the most, because all they're worried about is getting that fix, or that last drink, or, you know, fill in the blank, basically. You know, forms of lying, you know, they will lie to get money, to help with transportation, living situations, any kind of bills, whether it be phone, legal fees, health fees. You know, they will make up any kind of lies to manipulate to get what they want. And that ties in back into, like, you know, where they're depending on someone enabling them to help them to get what they want. I remember hearing one story where it was this woman, and I won't mention like where I heard this, or you know, like any kind of details of the situation, but her addict had claimed that she died and that he needed money for her funeral. And so he manipulated, lied to all the people like around him at his work, in their neighborhoods. And it got to the point where, like, her family members were calling and giving their condolences to other family members, because they had no idea that she had passed away, and heard that she had died and felt so sorry, and was calling it. And then the family was just like, what are you talking about? And so, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's one example that I was like, wow. One form of manipulation that my addict had used on me was, before I knew about his addiction, he would tell me that he was depressed, and that he had suicidal thoughts. And so he would start saying like, oh, I'm going to kill myself, or I'm going to do this, and I just want to die, and and work on that guilt with me. Like he knew that was my weakness with him, because I didn't want that for him. And so one way to protect ourselves, again, goes back to the boundaries that I mentioned at the previous video. And then having consequences that back those up when it gets severe like that. So the last time that he had said that he was going to kill himself, and to get the focus off of him and to make it something else, I would get off his back. I did what my therapist advised me to do, like for the next time he does that, and it was to call the cops. And so I did. And I was very scared about what his reaction was going to be, which I think a lot of people, when like it's hard to like try and stick up with somebody that has addiction, because of the different tactics and ways that they can manipulate the situation and try and take control of the situation, because that's what it is. Like that's what manipulation is that the individual, regardless of who it is, they're trying to get control of the person, of the situation that's surrounding them at that moment. And so, yep, he was not happy. He was like, I cannot believe you called the cops. And, granted, he used a different colorful words, but he never tried that again. Because he knew if he tried that again, then I would do what I needed to do. And he did not want the cops at his door. So especially with dealing with the kind of addiction that he was doing, he definitely did not want more attention. That he, that is what I did with the consequence there, was he wanted the focus off of him. He wanted me to take off, the pressure on him when I was asking him certain questions. And then he used that trigger and that guilt on me. I set that firm boundary. I gave it a consequence and result, and he never tried that again. I think I'm going to end it there for the night. If you guys have any questions or concerns, go ahead and shoot me a comment or an email. I am going to still try and post a video once a week. If you know anyone that you think might benefit from this or any other of my videos, please share the video or my channel. And so hopefully the more people that we can help, and the more family members, friends, loved ones that have people that are dealing with this, the more that we help them, then we can help the people that we care about that's battling this illness. So the last, I think I'm going to end it with one of my other favorite quotes is just to remind yourself is that be mad at the addiction, be mad at the disease, and not the addict. It's easier said than done, I know, but just take it day by day. Know that you're doing your best. Know that you are so strong and that you will get through this. I'm sending all my love. You guys take care.